One of my favorite parts of rod engineering is kind of analyzing rod breakage. Look at that, I'm already getting the wobs. You'd think when a rod breaks, you know, it's kind of a bummer and you just kind of move on. But what I'm looking for is how the rod broke. In this situation here, this rod sheared off. Okay, that's an indication that it was either injured or there might have been a wrinkle in the graphite fibers underneath the rod. That's one that I'm really concerned with. When I see a rod break like this one did here, this is an example of what we call a complete delam, or a failure over a large area. I know that looks worse, it's actually better. This is an indication that the amount of force it took to break a fly rod was distributed over a large area. Let's talk about what happens when a rod breaks. Let's break a couple here. When I bend a fly rod, I mean, that's already pretty nasty. This is the tip section from the 8-weight rod. What happens is the fibers, the graphite fibers on the top of this rod are being stretched. The fibers on the bottom of the rod are being compressed. We use a blend of different graphites, usually intermediate modulus, to try and achieve the best strength to weight ratio. So it's tough, durable, but it allows us to get a rod that's going to be one that takes a full bend without breaking. Now, in this situation, if I bend this rod, all it takes sometimes is a little extra focus or a shear point, and I can take what would normally never break a rod, and I can snap a rod pretty easily. Doing that to a 9-weight is actually pretty tough. If I take the tip section of a rod, I can just snap this rod all day, and that same rod will just handle tons of pressure if I bent it over a smooth curve. So what happens is when you break your fly rod, you might not know it, but a little nick caused by the fly, some injury to the rod, created a soft spot, created a weak spot, and pow, that's usually where a rod breaks.